What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some interesting news. As undefeated two-division world champion, who was the reigning WBO super featherweight world champion, superstar boxer, Shakur Stevenson, 17 wins, no loss, no draws, 9 wins by way of knockout, 24 years of age, 5'7" with a 69-inch arm reach. It's being reported that Shakur Stevenson is finally going to secure the fight he's been long seeking out against undefeated two-division world champion, who currently is the reigning WBC super featherweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez is 31 years of age. Okay, Oscar Valdez, 30 wins, no losses, no draws, 23 big wins by way of knockout, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. So Oscar Valdez is going to be at a height disadvantage. Shakur Stevenson is 5'8". Oscar Valdez is 5'5.5". Shakur Stevenson going to have nearly a 3-inch height advantage. Oscar Valdez has a 66-inch arm reach. Shakur Stevenson has a 69, almost a 70-inch arm reach. So he's going to have almost a 4-inch arm reach advantage over Oscar Valdez. And Shakur Stevenson is just a better pure boxer out of the two. Oscar Valdez, obviously, with 30 fights, he nearly doubles the amount of fights that Shakur Stevenson has with only 17 fights, okay? So with that said, he has 23 knockouts, so he's viewed to be the bigger puncher, but Shakur Stevenson is more disciplined. He's a better skill boxer. He has shown to have a higher ring IQ. Oscar Valdez is shown to be the better. He has the action-packed fights, okay? So you're going to have the classic boxer-puncher fight in this fight, and it looked like it could take place April 30th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. So with that said, we know there was a lot of controversy surrounding Oscar Valdez prior to his last fight against Olympic gold medalist out of Brazil, Robson Conceição, that took place September 10th of 2021. And Oscar Valdez, he tested positive for a banned substance on USADA's United States Anti-Doping Agency's list. Oscar Valdez, he pointed to that it was probably the herbal tea that he had. They stated that it was a few things that Oscar Valdez probably had that had him test positive for this banned substance. And many people, they felt, the boxing world, their fans, they felt that Oscar Valdez should have been pulled from his fight against Robson Conceição. At the very least, Oscar Valdez should have been stripped of his title. Neither which one took place occurred, okay? Actually, the WBC, World Boxing Council President Mauricio Suleiman, he came out and defended Oscar Valdez and said the amount of trace that was in his system is equivalent to having 15 or 20 Red Bulls or something of that nature, okay? Well, Red Bulls is a pick-me-up. It will be considered a performance enhancer because it allows you to, to perform under circumstances when you were fatigued. It gives you a pick-me-up, a boost, okay? And so with that said, nonetheless, Oscar Valdez, he fought Robson Conceição. And many people thought, oddly enough, he lost the fight against Robson Conceição because he was getting outboxed. Robson Conceição was out counter-punching him. He was moving around the ring. Oscar Valdez didn't make many adjustments in the fight. Robson Conceição was clearly the better boxer, but Oscar Valdez was the bigger name. And at the end of the fight, they saw a unanimous decision, by far, victory for Oscar Valdez, what got the fans even more in the uproar after the decision, okay? Robson Conceição was going into the fight with 16 wins, no losses, no draws, 8 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'10.5" with a 70-inch arm reach. So he's a very, very big super featherweight. So with that said, he was outboxing Oscar Valdez. Now, Shakur Stevenson, since he became Oscar Valdez's mandatory for Oscar Valdez WBO title at featherweight at 126, with Oscar Valdez, he vacated the title. He moved up in weight. He fought Miguel Bichelt, who was the reigning WBC super featherweight champion with 37 wins, 1 loss, no draws, and 34 wins by way of knockout. Big puncher, hadn't lost in years, defended his title multiple times, and so he was the favorite. And Oscar Valdez, he got a knockout victory in the 10th round, brutal knockout victory over Miguel Bichelt, shockingly. he had dropped Miguel Bichet a few times in the fight before he brutally knocked him out. It was shocking to many people. So with that said, Shakur Stevenson, he then moved up to super featherweight, and he challenged after Oscar Valdez beat Miguel Bichet, the longest reigning champion super featherweight, which was WBO featherweight world champion Jamel Herring, and he outclassed and stopped Jamel Herring, shockingly. So with that said, he started to once again pursue Oscar Valdez, and now suddenly it looks like Bob Arum, who legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum, is going to make the fight for Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson. After on numerous occasions, Bob Arum has stated that Oscar Valdez and his team and Bob Arum in Top Rank, they wanted to make a fight between Oscar Valdez and Mexican superstar featherweight world champion Emmanuel Navarrete as he moved up in weight, and Shakur Stevenson possibly against Vasyl Lomachenko, or Shakur Stevenson against Miguel Bichet, which didn't make any sense. Why would Shakur Stevenson not go into a unification bout against Oscar Valdez in a bigger fight, but instead go into a fight against Miguel Bichet, who's coming off a knockout brutal loss to Oscar Valdez, or move up in weight to challenge Vasyl Lomachenko, two-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, superstar Ukrainian boxer, who fights at 135. And Lomachenko, he stated he has no interest in going back down to 130. So why would Shakur Stevenson move up in weight, or Shakur Stevenson fight Miguel Bichet? And why would Oscar Valdez fight a guy coming up in weight, and Emmanuel Navarrete opposed to fighting a guy in his own division who's with the same promotional banner under the same company, and it's a unification bout for both guys, opposed to, fighting all these other fights that's being mentioned, because they've been dancing around a fight with Shakur Stevenson for quite some time. So Shakur Stevenson, let it be known that, once he gets past this fight, he's going to have to be considered top 5 best pound for pound fighters in the world. So somebody stated to Shakur Stevenson, you got to be careful, because Oscar Valdez is going to have an unfair advantage, and we know nobody seems to care about what Oscar Valdez is doing behind the scenes. And so Shakur Stevenson responds to somebody else who also says it won't matter, because Shakur Stevenson is going to win every round. They don't see Oscar Valdez winning a round. And Shakur Stevenson, he seconds that. And then Shakur Stevenson responds by saying it won't matter because cheaters will not win. Okay, they'll never win. Well, I have to disagree with Shakur Stevenson, because Oscar Valdez, he won against Robson Casacia. He didn't. Many people, including myself, I didn't think he actually won the fight. And we know he had an unfair advantage going into the fight. Okay, and yet he got the nod. So that's not entirely true to say cheaters never win. But I understand where Shakur Stevenson is coming from, meaning that light will always be shed on situations. Okay, so it's not a coincidence that this fight with Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez is getting made, because there's a lot of issues surrounding Top Rank since one of their best fighters, if not the best fighter under their promotional banner, in 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO reigning welterweight world champion, Terrence Bud Crawford, revealed some very dark things that he felt was going on behind the scenes with Top Rank and Bob Arum. Okay, he stated that they just have no interest in promoting young black African American fighters, and they're making promises that they're not keeping. And Terrence Crawford is taking them to court. So it seems like, just hours later after it was revealed that Terrence Crawford was taking his stance, that we're going to get Oscar Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. And now you have representatives from Top Rank coming out, and they're stating that this fight was about money, promoting the biggest fight possible for money and for the fighters and for the promoters. Well, if that's the case, then why was we even talking about Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson versus Miguel Bichet? That don't make sense. It only makes sense that these two guys fight for a unification bout, and they're both underneath the same promotional banner, same network, not a hard fight to be made. So if it was truly about the making money for the promoters and the fighters, then we wouldn't have never been talking about Manuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez. Now, I like Emmanuel Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez in the future, but not right now. Okay, Emmanuel Navarrete is a very good fighter, but he fights at 126, 35 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 29 big wins by way of knockout, 27 years of age, 5'7.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's coming up in weight. Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, they fight at 130. He fights at 126. It only makes sense for two of the best fighters and their own division to fight in a unification bout, opposed to bringing in fighters from other weight classes and things of that nature. So Shakur Stevenson says Oscar Valdez won't win the round, and Oscar Valdez, their cheaters won't prosper anyway. So it looks like it's taking place April 30th. Let's see how this unfolds and plays out. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.